everyone, and welcome to A Little Bit of Sunshine. I am Mackenzie, and I am over the moon excited to be here chatting with you about some awesome things happening because of individuals who decided to become sunshine for someone else. When I first found out that the show was going to actually happen, I thought, no, and then they said, yes, and I said, no, and they said, yes, and I said, no, and they said, yes. So, of course, I wanted to celebrate. And where do you go when you want to celebrate? Olive Garden. So I called my very first friend at Barry, who I obviously hadn't talked to since the first week of college, and I said, let's go to Olive Garden. Because she's a nice Southern girl, she said, okay. So we went to dinner, and I waited until we were seated, and I said, I got my own talk show. And she congratulated me, and then the best part of my entire day happened. We devoured soup, salad, and breadsticks like a boss. The real celebration didn't come until later that night, though. All of my friends came over, and they were so nice. They brought me water and saltine crackers and Gatorade and ginger ale and an excess of Advil. Why, you ask? Because who doesn't celebrate their very own talk show with the flu? Well, we have a great show planned for you today with my first ever guest and personal friend, fashionista and entrepreneur, founder of Lion's Thread, Miss Sydney HulaBOC. But first, let's take a look at our very first man on the street when we pose the question, who are the best bow tie wearers on campus? Standing here with Parker Clavijo, a sophomore of Barry College, and he has been deemed one of the best bow tie wearers on campus. So how does it feel to have that sort of accomplishment?
I've worked my entire life for this moment, so it feels wonderful.
Just this moment. This is it.
Exact moment. This is it.
Well, I'm so glad we could help you achieve that. So how often do you wear bow ties?
About once a week, actually.
Specific day or just whenever you feel like it?
Today it's a Monday, so it's a good reason to wear a bow tie. So.
How often do you wear bow ties?
At least probably twice a week.
Twice a week? Wow, that's a lot of bow ties. So do you own a lot of these bow ties, or do you like wear the same ones over again? How does that work?
Well, I own about 7 or 8, but then I change up the outfits around them.
Can you tie your own bow tie, or is this like a once in a while you tie it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, definitely. And clip-ons are the cheap way out, so anyone out there?
He feels very intense about these bow ties, okay?
Please,
okay. Do you tie them yourself every day, or is it like they're all kind of tied and you just kind of shimmy them on?
No, I tie them every day. I consider ties that are pre-tied fake bow ties.
I feel like that's a common thread here. Like everyone's saying that that's fake. So like the clip-on bow ties, you know, none of that, right? Yes. So what advice would you have for other bow tie wearers?
It's one of those things that just takes a lot of practice. If you want to get good, you just have to spend time in it. You know, you have to devote a couple days to it. You know, get it really good. So.
Do you know about Lion's Thread? Is this a company that you're aware of?
I have heard of them, but I haven't purchased anything from them before. But I would like to.
So Lion's Thread is a brand that someone on Barry's campus started. So do you know much about Lion's Thread? Do you own any bow ties from Lion's Thread?
I do not own any bow ties from Lion's Thread currently, but I plan on getting one for the new season, for fall.
Well, that wraps us up with some of the best bow tie wearers on campus. Stick around to find out how Sydney HulaBOC used this little trendy piece of fashion to brighten up the world a little. Well, a big thank you to all of those who participated and we harassed about the best bow tie wearers on campus. But now let's talk to my first ever guest on A Little Bit of Sunshine, co-founder of Lion's Thread, Miss Sydney HulaBOC. I almost messed up your name. I never do that. HulaBOC.
No, perfect.
It's
perfect.
It's a tough name.
It is. It's Norwegian.
Yeah, wow.
I know.
Norwegian.
That is exactly right.
is Norwow. So Sydney, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you work? Who are you, Sydney?
Who am I? Well, technically, I am a senior communication major with a concentration in PR, and I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. On campus, I work in the volunteer service office. I'm the director.
Okay, so what do you do with this volunteer service directing position?
Yes, so really our main goal is to connect people with places that they want to serve. And whether that's on campus or off campus in their own Floyd community, just really connecting people with their passions to help others.
So you just help people on campus connect?
Yeah.
But then on the side, you as a person, you're a fashionista. And I know that because I see you strutting down the halls of the communications building, and you're absolutely phenomenal attire.
Well, look at that jacket.
Well, I
can't
mean,
top
thank
that.
you, but I mean, you're wearing a romper right now. I'm sorry. I didn't even know what a romper was until like last week.
They're
Okay.
in season, apparently.
Apparently,
Target.
and I know you know that because you love fashion so much. When you came to Barry, you wanted to be a fashion journalist, correct?
I did.
Those are big aspirations. But since you have transitioned to volunteer services,
I have.
but tell me a little bit about your fashion background.
Yeah, so
because you've always loved it, right?
I have. Ever since I was little, I was that kid that played and dressed up Barbies nonstop. I had
We
the
all were.
giant green tub. It wasn't Barbies. I had like one Barbie, but I had like 100 outfits.
So you like went into the store and you were like, "Mom, I want all of those clothes," and she's like, "You want a Barbie?" No.
Well, it's cheaper if you
Well,
just buy the clothes
oh.
instead of the dolls.
No, I never did that.
Oh well,
I liked the.
all about
I like to
being
play with
economical,
them. So now that you have this love for volunteering
Yes.
and this love for fashion, so you have since created a business that does both, correct?
have, yeah.
Okay, so it's called Lion Thread, and it is a bow tie business.
It
Here,
is.
here are some of the bow ties here,
Yes.
correct? So all of those different colors and such. So tell me a little bit about Lion Thread as a company.
Yeah, so Lion Thread it started out of a nonprofit that was started by a graduate of Barry back in 2009, and it's called the African Soup, which is the sponsorship of orphans in Uganda project. And we sponsor about 350, 400 kids in this small village in rural Uganda.
For their education?
For their education, all their physiological needs, so clothing, housing, food, all the basic needs for these kids. And so it's a great organization, and we've been growing. We've moved from a small nonprofit to a medium nonprofit since 2009 and have a great team here at Barry and at different schools. But we noticed that we were always fundraising.
Right.
And it's kind of one of the necessary evils of the nonprofit world is that, you have to get money from somewhere.
Right.
And we have great donors, but
So that's where you primarily got your money from before as donors?
yeah,
Okay.
which we have monthly donors, but it's just not enough to sustain the kind of nonprofit size that the soup is growing to. And so Brent and I, the other co-founder of Lion Thread, we talked about maybe creating this business that could more financially sustain the soup. And so Brent has always really wanted to start a social enterprise, and especially one out of Uganda in
Right.
conjunction with the soup. And I've always had this love for fashion and nonprofit and how to marry them together. And so eventually, after about a year of ideation and researching and research, we came to this idea of Lion Thread, and we saw this great renaissance of men's fashion in the South. And all these guys rocking bow ties and
Yes, all of
suspenders.
them. You cannot walk down a street at Barry without seeing the bow ties.
I love it. Now I'm just like, hey, so you like bow ties, huh? And I like most of the time have one in my purse just
Look
for
at
random
these.
reasons. I know. And so so we saw this renaissance of men's fashion and really wanted to find a way to capitalize on that, because a lot of social enterprises, especially coming out of East Africa, they're so female focused.
Right.
And they're jewelry, home goods, fashion, but there's very few that focus on men. So we wanted to find a way to bring them into the conversation.
Getting that to that market, that niche market that you have.
Yeah.
So now these are all of the bow ties, or
Yes.
there's more.
There's one more,
One
but
more.
we are currently sold out of it. So these are our 4 current ties.
Now this one, I don't know, I can't decide which one's my favorite. I like these two the best. Probably this one, but this is a one-time deal, right?
Yeah, it was a special edition tie for our Kickstarter campaign that ended back in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the Mamba.
Mamba.
Yeah, it sold out the first day, actually, which was crazy.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's definitely off the market.
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
All right. But this one,
That one is still on the market.
what's this one called?
That is the Sabo.
So, okay, so these are African words, correct?
They're African words. Yeah, so they're all
What's Uganda's language is what?
Luganda.
Luganda.
And so it is actually, they're all different derivatives of that. Now, some of them, like the white one there with red on it, that is actually the Uganda, which is the city where Lion Thread was born.
This one?
Yes. And so some of them have like geographical names, and then some are just Lugandan words that
you like.
that we've translated. Yeah.
So this means elephant.
It means elephant.
What's the word?
The Sabo.
Sabo.
Yes.
Okay. So why elephant?
Because we thought it would be cool to tell people that, they could stampede. They look that bold when they wear it.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have all these little marketing slogans that we've been peppering here and there, but
Now, did you come up with these names, or they were just kind of names that, oh, here's one.
well, we had a marketing team that we brought in
Okay.
volunteers to really help us brainstorm through that phase. But yeah, we just kind of pulled together a lot of cool sounding Lugandan words,
Yeah,
and a
that's
lot of them have animal origins because we thought that would be cool with the African influence.
So now the women in Africa, the Ugandan women, they make these.
They do.
Like,
Their hand touched that.
so they just stitch these up, and then they send them over to the U.S.
Yes.
And then they're here for sale.
Yeah, we sell them online currently
Okay.
on our website.
So, man, that would take a lot of time for one bow tie. How long does it take?
They're actually incredibly efficient. The first woman we hired, Sarah, she actually, whipped up a bow tie. It was the first time she had ever seen one in her entire life. And we showed her a template of one that we had brought over. Actually, that one had come from South Africa, and she completely created one perfectly in, a day. And, and that was us buying the fabric, taking it to her,
Right.
explaining the dimensions.
Oh, all that
and
in the same day
all
that
that
she
in
made
the
it.
same day.
Man,
Yeah.
keep Sarah around.
Sarah's fantastic.
So, and then they have these little tags in them, the Lions Thread logo. And
Yes.
handmade in Uganda, it says.
Handmade in
So-
Uganda.
Well, that is entirely interesting. So these aren't one size fits all. They change.
Yeah,
Look at that. You can
they have
change
neck
that.
adjusters, so you can make it fit your
I can't-
custom
I
neck
can't do
size.
I would be afraid that my neck would be too large.
I would guess you're about a 15 3/4.
Maybe so. You never know. Okay, so they can buy these bow ties online.
Correct.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us where? Do you have a Facebook page, or it's just the Lions Thread website?
We have a Facebook. We're on all social media outlets. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We actually just got a Tumblr too. So we're trying to
love in
put
the
our
world.
hands in everything. I know, really broadening our audience.
Right.
So, but our website is www.lionsthread.com, and it links directly to our store on Store Envy, and you can go in and purchase the tie of your choice.
Well, I wish you the best of luck
Well, thank
in this
you.
endeavor. This is a really cool project, Sydney,
you.
and I'm very inspired and encouraged by your humbleness, and you're doing good things for others.
Well, thank
So
you.
I'm very
I
proud of
appreciate
you.
that.
I'm proud to be your friend. So thank you guys for coming. I want to thank my first guest ever,
Oh my
Sydney.
gosh.
Thank you so much for coming. And also all of those who I harassed for the Man on the Street segment. I just want to say thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting this. So I will see you in the next month. I hope you have a very sunshiny day.
That was fantastic.
What was the question?
Can you tie your own?
Okay. Okay, Parker, can you tie your own bow ties, or is this something that I'm going to re-ask that question? Bailey, knock it off.